Thanks to streaming services, I am able to watch small and powerful films like this one. But at the same time, some streaming services can also be just the worst. But more about that at the end of the review. Servus Freunde, my name is Jimmy Cage, and Madati or Madati An Unfairy Tale is a Tamil language arthouse drama that had its premiere in 2019 at the Busan International Film Festival before it was released on streaming last year. It was directed, co-written and produced by Leena Manimakele, and like the international title says, it's an unfairy tale. A very real and uncompromising drama told in a poetic, almost magical realism kind of way. A folklore drama that shines a light on the unbelievably unjust world of a certain Dalit caste group. At this point, I have seen quite a few Indian films that deal with the horrors of the caste system. Yet, I had no idea about this particular subject matter. I knew about the Dalit caste, the so-called untouchables, but this film's characters belong to the so-called Putirai Vanar, which is a caste found in the northeastern part of Sri Lanka and, like in this case, the Indian state of Tamil Nadu. Not only are they subjugated to untouchability, but they are regarded as unseeable. Just seeing them should seemingly pollute people from higher castes, which is just utter madness. I mean, the whole caste system is just madness and among the worst systems of oppression ever invented by human beings. If you lay eyes on someone from that unseeable caste, you are polluted. Yet, at the same time, the slave caste job is to clean. They have to wash clothes of other Dalits, specifically the things of the dead or of menstruating women. Menstruation, of course, being yet another thing that's regarded as something dirty and shameful. So the ones who are considered the lowest and as unclean are also the ones whose job is to clean. And another absurd irony, and I honestly don't think I was yet able to fully grasp and understand all of this, but in India or parts of India, it is also common that someone can be regarded and worshipped as a subaltern deity. And the title card at the beginning states the following: the Indian subcontinent is a land of 1,000,000 subaltern deities. Behind many of these deities, there is a tale of injustice. And Madati tells the tale of such a young woman, Yosanna, played by the newcomer Ajmina Kasim. Yosanna was born into this caste and she mostly behaves according to its rules, but she's also exploring the world on her own terms, roaming around, being curious, spectating from afar, from a distance, because she knows she shouldn't be seen. In one of the film's most beautiful and memorable scenes, she's observing how a man undresses and takes a bath in a lake. It's a very tender and also sensual moment, and this kind of female gaze immediately has something very fascinating and fresh to it, just because it's still something very uncommon. Another scene that will stick with me is when she's discovering a little donkey, a donkey that belongs to someone else. A donkey that she will then lead back to him and the other donkeys, but all again happening unseen. Like this invisible force behind the curtain. Animals occupy a significant place in the film's texture, as they seem to be the only real companions for our protagonist. A little bug, a fish, the donkey, or later some monkeys and even a parrot. This element also reminded me of my favorite Tamil film from last year, Karnan. Animals do not know and of course do not care about these arbitrary rules established by man. And like in many other films about the injustices of human beings, there's a strong dichotomy between the beautiful nature, the beautiful landscapes the story is embedded in, and the cruelty that is happening there because of people. Madati has tender and poetic moments, but it's also crystal clear that this is a gut-wrenching indictment of these traditions and absurd systems. There are scenes that are very hard to stomach. Scenes in which men take advantage and rape, because their world, their system is made in a way that allows and supports it. The movie certainly reminded me of other recent Indian films that relentlessly address these social issues. Films like The Great Indian Kitchen or Biryani. Leena Manimakele's Madati is a strong film, a poetic coming-of-age tale that's also a horror movie, because of the horrendous things these people, specifically our heroine Yosanna, are exposed to. The filmmaking is rather impressionistic and unobtrusive. Like Yosanna, we are oftentimes just witnessing, similarly from a distance, and step by step we try to make sense of this world and its rules. Without knowing much beforehand, it wasn't so easy to get into the film, but it certainly kept my interest. Unfortunately though, there was another big reason why it was difficult for me, and here the blame lies completely with the streaming service I watched it on. From the beginning I knew that something was very wrong. It just looked all wrong, and because this is a constant source of frustration with many older movies, I picked up on it instantly. For some reason that I don't understand, the movie is shown on Nistream in the wrong aspect ratio, and I'm not sure if only I have this technical problem or if Nistream really fucked this up completely. But the movie should be in a super widescreen format, probably 2.35:1, and on their platform it's in normal widescreen and everything looks super thin. It's completely distorted and it's horrible. I tweeted about this and director Lina Mani Makelay even replied, and I quote, "Nistream gives least respect to filmmakers and films. They refuse to work with filmmakers to fix their projection/streaming issues. The entire team is so feudal to approach. I have stopped expecting any kind of professionalism from them, putting it out as a red flag for fellow filmmakers." I really respect and applaud her for speaking out against this practice of not even caring enough to present someone's work in the correct aspect ratio. I watched the film for about 30 minutes like this, pausing it multiple times to try another browser or looking up any option to maybe distort my own screen so that distortion then reverses the distortion on Nistream, but nothing worked out. Thankfully, I then discovered that Marathi is also available on Mubi in India, and luckily Mubi can always very easily be accessed with a VPN from outside of India as well. So I watched the rest of the film there, and it was instantly such a change in perception to see everything as it was intended. But to come back to the film one more time, for me the strongest and most touching moment is one somewhere in the middle, when Yosanna is weeping and asking her mother why she's always getting scolded by her. Movies like Marathi, movies that feature a huge deal of physical and or verbal cues, can tend to come across a little bit too on the nose and lead to a feeling of numbness. But this little moment prevented that for me, because through Yosanna's courage to speak out, she got her mother out of her usual routine for a moment, and we get very close to the center of all that pain and suffering. It's a really strong moment in an overall powerful film. So in German I'd say, Marathi, an Unfairy Tale ist ein gleichermaßen leiser und poetischer wie lauter und anklagender Film, der ein Licht wirft auf eine Ungerechtigkeit so groß und absurd, dass es einen fassungslos macht. I give Marathi, an Unfairy Tale 8 out of 10. It's more like 7.5, but I don't do that. Alright, that's it like always. Comment below and let me know what you think about Marathi, an Unfairy Tale. You can hit me up on Twitter, Instagram and Letterboxd, and also on Patreon, simply at The Jimmy Cage. And if you enjoyed this episode, please give me a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like. And make sure you hit that bell for all I have to tell.